Let me tell you something. Haitians, they got alienated from everybody.
Why is that?
It's just weird. It's stupid. So you got everybody named Jean Baptiste. You can't really hide from it. Your name is Jean Baptiste. When we were young, they would lie and say they wasn't Haitian. Oh, my name's JB. Somebody gonna find out that your name is Jean Baptiste, and then you're gonna get punched in the face just because you're Haitian. Because it was a horrible thing to be in the early 90s. You had two things in high school. You had Cracker Day and you had Haitian Day. Getting punched in the face for that. Haitian Day, and they just, if you was Haitian and they knew it, you just didn't go to school that day. You found out, you got off the bus because you knew that they was just gonna punch you in the mouth just for being Haitian. And then mid to late 90s, you was getting f***ed up.
Reset TV, what is happening? What is happening, man? It's gravitating away, and I promise you I am your humble host. Let's get right at it, man. Uncle Luke rubs off, quote unquote, Tariq Nasheed's group, FBA, the wrong way. A man that I have and still do some respect for, Lord Jamar, just been making a fool of himself. You can only give grace for a certain amount of time. You can only give grace for a certain amount of time. There are certain messages that can be so divisive, right? Where it can deconstruct what you've been building and certain things you've been seeing coming along for the better, that it's hard to ignore, yo. It's hard to ignore. I got a motto, right? And I always say, if you're out here doing the work, which I am, and I hope you guys went through my channel and you can see, man, I got proof in the pudding. I'm not just on here talking. When you're doing the work, you don't got time to be bothered by all this other stuff going on. But I'm telling you, anything that starts from a seed can spread and sprout, right? Like weed. And I'm not talking about ganja, marijuana, but weed. If it goes unchecked, can spread and disrupt the order of things, right? Mess up with your flowers, your roses, etc. So you got to destroy it, right? Nip it at the bud. A message like Tariq Nasheed's FBA group is something, I'll put it like this. My background, right? My parents came here as young folks, very, very young, from Haiti, right? And I know some Haitians are going to get offended when I say this. I, quote unquote, was never viewed as a, whatever it means, true Haitian. Doesn't bother me. My lineage is from the continent called Africa. Whatever the original name was, we use so-called, as the brother Malcolm X, good old Shabazz that is, put so-called, because origins are important, but it doesn't escape you that we refer to certain things based on what it is, right? So we'll go with Africa. That's what the continent is known as worldwide. Doesn't matter what the original name was, but I view myself as that lineage of Africa. So it's nothing for me to be connected with a lot of my peers, a lot of my people, all around the diaspora. Some accept it, some don't. But when you have emotional discipline, you have intellectual discernment, you don't get so out of yourself, right? That one bad experience makes you carpet blank an entire group of people. Now I can't rock with this, that, and the other because I had this moment, that moment, etc. Your eyes stay on the prize. How I see it is, even when I was in my so-called parents' land of Haiti, right? I had good experiences, I had bad experiences. Some didn't accept me as a Haitian, right? Mother, father, I got dual citizenship. It doesn't bother me. I identify with the poor folks that just wants a better life. A lot of folks from Haiti that comes here doesn't necessarily reflect the poor, just like a lot of immigrants that come here they don't necessarily reflect the poor or the prideful people that, you know, acknowledges the entire diaspora as one. So if you had a bad experience with certain people, that's not necessarily, right, the identity of said folks you would probably come across. But I don't want to rant and get off topic. My point is this. There's a lot of back and forth with all groups that are black. And when I see somebody who's Haitian, right, has the same background as me, and we're talking about once we come into wisdom, we don't talk about childlike things. As I come into a man, I put childish things aside. Whatever y'all childhood experiences were and are, we could argue that back and forth, right? This group said that, that group said that. Tell me I'm lying. Whether it was black immigrants saying this, black Americans saying that. And all of us are so-called. Because the oneness that we all have comes from one, right? The universe is one, y'all. But my point is this. You can have scenarios that when you were a child, you can't equate it to that of when you're an adult, especially if you come into reasoning. So as an adult, I can't, in good conscience, tell y'all that I see a Haitian saying XYZ and I let that slide. In fact, I had a lot of trouble with so-called other Haitians when I heard certain things, right? Certain things about black Americans, because they use whatever childhood situation they went through and they carpet blank that group. I hear a black American had whatever issues back in high school, middle school, maybe fights. We had all of that. And then they carpet blank that group. Do you see how this can go back and forth without intellectual discipline, emotional discipline? Versus me telling you the majority of Haitians I've been around rock with black Americans so much, they quote unquote adopt the culture. That's what they feel comfortable with. They identify with that more than the so-called culture that rejects them in and of itself because they were born here. There's a term for certain Haitians called diaspora, meaning you're a black American. It's not a disrespectful term. That's how they really view you, because they feel like you're detached from that culture because you was raised here. And I say it proudly. My identity is that of an American, an African American. And when I say African American, I'm not talking about what they give us here in this country. I mean my lineage being of Africa and me being an American citizen. All this comes back whole, guys. If you are emotionally intelligent and you're disciplined to see what someone's conveying, rock with me for a second. So Luke goes on this trolling thing, right? Because people were coming for him. I'm gonna stay neutral on that, because Luke, I got issues with Luke being a diehard Democrat, pushing an agenda, just like I would with a so-called Republican. But for black folks, let's keep it real, it's forever blue. So I got issues with Luke myself, but when I watch them trolling the FBA, I try to use discernment and realize these are groups of people, not the entire body of people, right? These are little segments in our community that has turmoil. The Luke fans might understand. The FBA fans might understand. FBA, meaning that of Tariq Nasheed's group, like to speak in a way where all black American descendants of chattel slavery are associating themselves with Tariq's trademark. And that's not the case. We've said this so many times all across the internet. Most black Americans who are descendants of chattel slavery here in America do not identify with that term FBA from Tariq Nasheed.
Tariq Nasheed said, "You're not FBA." No, I'm not FBA. Fuck him too. Who cares about him? The pimp? Are you questioning me about a pimp? The guy who was a pimp? The Tyreek guy who they had on social media last week that was a pimp? Is that your leader? Is Tyreek your leader, the pimp? Hello? My mom is from the Bahamas, and my dad is from Jamaica. So no. I am Black American. I was born here. Okay? Is that okay with you? Your leader is a pimp. A P-I-M-P. Tariq Nasheed. Pimps have a way of talking women into being prostitutes. And they're talking a lot of men too. That pimp talked a whole bunch of you men into being prostitutes. Convince y'all that y'all were supporting something. Convince y'all that y'all were supporting something, a real movement, disguised up under reparation. Oh, it's all about reparation. It's all about reparation. The Democrats don't do nothing for us. The Democrats don't do nothing for us. We ain't voting. It's the lineage. It's the tangibles. The tangibles. 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 The Democrats ain't did nothing for us, so we ain't voting. We're holding back our vote. Look where that got you.
But I say that so we can stay on or within context. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. So we can stay within context of when you hear the term FBA, whoever they're going back and forth with, it's important to have context. So Luke is doing this and FBA are going back and forth. The context, that being of the group FBA. And they're just going back and forth through the internet. I know in real life, none of this happens. Everybody is this and that on the internet. In real life, for the most parts, I see us getting along. We got issues we got to clean up. You know, youngsters being affected, deaf, all type of stuff, right? But for the most part, when all of us are in each other's faces, all that shit is out the window. It's all cordial. It's what's up, what's going on, all of that. We respect each other's humanity, brotherhood, sisterhood. You can pretend all you want on the internet like you're just, like if you're a black immigrant from wherever, you can pretend that you're being attacked and, you know, your environment is hostile from black Americans. Cap on the internet. If you are, quote unquote, a black American of chattel slavery here in America, and you can claim on the internet, the FBA group that is, that you're being attacked and every black immigrant is against you, cap. It's like everyone has their own narrative to push on the internet, but in reality, that's not what goes on. So Uncle Luke is going back and forth with this FBA group. Then you got Lord Jamar, who's playing I Want to Be It Too. The brothers Guyanese or whatever. End of the day, I see us all being one in the diaspora. But you got Brother Jamar, who believes in something that I grew up with, by the way. The Nations of Gods and Earth's message, 5 percenters. You don't got to be a member to understand these things, right? Because I grew up in the mosque. I was not a member of the NOI. You know, I revered a lot of their ministers. I went there to kick knowledge and build. Building is nothing wrong with it. They might not let you get your official X unless you write that letter to Chicago, Mas Miriam. But they will rock with you and they will build with you to a certain extent. I digress. The point is, Lord Jamar grew up with a certain teaching. And I don't know if this brother's mental acuity is dissipating right in front of all of us. I don't know what's going on, if he's regressing. But the teaching has nothing to do with the things he's been saying as of late. He just went against Godfrey, who has always rocked with Lord Jamar, always had his back. Even when Lord Jamar asked everyone that he knew, and even the blacks he didn't know, to boycott Vlad TV, Godfrey was the first one to say, I'm rocking with my guy, Lord Jamar. I'm rocking with my guy because Vlad didn't apologize to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
TV. Listen, we've never done that. We've never done that.
Okay.
We've never done that.
Fucking vulture.
No, that's... Go ahead. I'm sorry. Because people go, Vlad, what happened with Vlad? What happened with Vlad? And We can explain.
All right, well,
our
see, some
situation with
people,
Vlad.
I mean, I feel like for me, it was, if you really boil it down, is because he was not a good friend, okay? But really, he tried to pose himself to me and to Godfrey as friends.
Right. Remember Cam sent me a video like, he said, yo, God, I need to talk to you, man, real quick, boo, boo. Then I get DMs going, oh, so you gonna keep tap dancing for this motherfucking Vlad? I'm like, what the fuck? And I had I just filmed with Vlad and I didn't know. And so and Vlad goes, yo, man, are we cool? I just want to make sure that everything's cool, everything's all right. I go, what are you talking about? I was like, he's like, no, there was just some shit that went down and I just want to make sure that we're cool. Then I get the messages, Royce to Fight 9, blah, blah, all these motherfuckers, and then his grandson, Elijah, says, brother, can we talk to you? We want to holler at you and Lord Jamar Butson. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I called you, right? I think we talked, and he goes, yo, there's some shit that just hit the fan, blah, blah, blah. And then we had a big conference call, and we actually, as men, called fucking Vlad himself as a friend.
I called him and I was like, yo, we need to talk to this nigga.
One-on-one.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, because this is bullshit. We need to let this nigga know, like, yo, he needs to change his stance on this. Yeah. And if he don't fucking change his stance, yo, bro, we need to stop fucking with him, man.
Yeah.
Whether you guys respect Louis Farrakhan or not, he meant a lot to a lot of black youths that was thirsty for knowledge. A lot of people that wanted to transform their lives from drug dealers, whatever. I mean, you could say the same about the Hebrew Israelites and so many other organizations, the Moorish folks over there. I mean, the point of what I'm saying is when you disrespect one of our black elders, it needs to, and you are a small hat nonetheless, right? A white boy, whatever you want to call it. When you disrespect one of our elders, it got to be some type of unison, right? Some type of act in unison that we display to show we're not going for that. And that's what happened. Godfrey was one of the first to defend the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, and he took to the calling of Lord Jamar. But Lord Jamar had a situation where he was called out on his flat earth theory, which, if you know anything about the messaging of a 5%er, it does not equate to anybody believing in a flat earth. We could debate this all y'all want, but the 5%ers, Nation of Gods and Nerves, that is, their messaging does not equal their knowledge that they give you. The supreme mathematics do not equate to one of their so-called members or associates talking about flat earth. So I already knew something was off with Lord Jamar, but I give him grace. You're entitled to believe what you want. I don't take away from the work, because Lord Jamar has put in work out here. We're not going to just erase his body of work. His messaging with, his group, etc. Them boys was dropping gems. I know I grew up under that. But I knew something was off with Lord Jamar, right? And we're black. We can talk about this, especially those of us that grew up about that. I feel like I'm entitled to speak on this. I ain't no fan, somebody Johnny come lately about Lord Jamar. I really rock with him. Love how he even taught his sons certain mathematics. But my point is, I watched this guy go off to another direction. I don't know what's happening with him. And he got cooked in a debate with Professor Dave. I'm not saying one or the other was right, but when you come to a debate, you got to be prepared. And Lord Jamar was not prepared. Why? Because he was not emotionally disciplined. Immediately, he started off with the F you this, F you that.
But you had people like Copernicus, Johann Kepler. You had all these guys were like, nah, dog, shit is round. Galileo, they're like, it's round. There's an African tribe, the Dogon tribe, who figured out that shit was spherical, not even without telescopes. They figured it out through their dance, the Dogon tribe, that they still do now.
He did. He was like, this is the dumbest shit ever, blah, 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 blah.
Which is fine, I think.
Blasting him, right?
But it doesn't matter because Lord Jamar never even saw that.
He never even saw it.
Right.
Right. So when they came on, we brought him on. He said something about you have to have, I'll debate. So I asked Godfrey, because Lord Jamar, I've spoke to him a couple of times on the phone, but it's Godfrey's friend. So I was making the connection with Dave, and Godfrey was making the with Lord Jamar. Yeah. And so whatever was said, Godfrey would have to tell you. So go ahead, God.
Oh, when we asked him?
Yeah, when you asked him.
I said, yo, why don't you go against this guy named Dave, blah, blah, blah. He goes, okay. He said, let me think about it. He told, you know what? I'm going to come through. You know what I mean? And on his own, I didn't force him. I said, I think it would be a really good fucking episode that you guys go at it. People love debates. Yeah. There's a reason why they watch presidential debates. I'm thinking it's going to be good. He goes, fuck Professor Dave. Do we have that? We're going to show this. And watch. It was very strange. And I was like, it kind of threw me off. All right, here we go.
Dave, here's my thing. Man, let me fuck Professor Dave.
Go ahead.
Before he even get here. You know why? When it comes to hip hop, right?
Yeah, it was like, fuck. I just thought, I was just a little bit like that. I laughed. I was like, okay, I thought he was just going to say fucking and keep it going. But he was really like, I don't, fuck that dude. I want to talk. What did he call him? Did he call him the F word?
Well, yeah, the F word, homo, all
yeah, it was just weird. It was just a little.
Went through the whole, and I go, well, what's up? And then Godfrey says to me that Lord Jamar said that I drugged him.
Yeah, he drugged him. He said, I think your boy drugged me. I go, what? First of all, I'm not a weed smoker, so I'm like, I don't get it. He goes, I was out of sorts on that episode. So I go, but you smoke all day, every day. He's always rolling joints on there.
He rolled 3 blunts.
The whole place was smoked up.
Dirty work. And who I let this sucker bitch, pull me into some shit. There's a guy on the show that used to be an ex-pimp, and since he couldn't best me the last time, he did what a pimp does, and he got a bitch to do his dirty work. And that's what happened.
Yeah. So he's calling us names and shit like that. It was your behavior, man. You did that. I didn't make you call this dude the F word. I didn't make you say fuck Dave. I didn't make any. I just said you showing up cool. I even gave you money for the toll. Well, now you're doing this legal shit. Whatever, it's clever. You can't do that. Like now you're gonna do a lawsuit on me? Like what? You called him F words and all kind of other shit. So, and it's almost like you're trying to make up a beef, I guess. Maybe that's a rap thing.
He tried to Drake you.
Yeah, he's trying to Drake me. Like, I'm like, huh? It's like, you're bad. Your enemy is the guy Dave, not me.
But you asked for the debate. You didn't want to stand by what you say you believe. Normally, there's nothing wrong with it, but you asked for this debate. You agreed to it at the least. And you embarrass yourself. You embarrass anybody that associated with you, brother. You embarrass yourself. And what do? You tell Godfrey, take it down. Godfrey takes it down. You threaten Godfrey with litigation. This ain't this ain't the way of 5% a move, man. And you're begging from the ilk you come from. You're begging to be under a Tariq Nasheed. It's a lot to be said in that. All of what I'm saying is coming to a full circle, and this is my point. It's hard to be emotionally disciplined, right? When we're catering to many narratives out there. The internet is an interesting thing. You can make money, you can learn things, but you also can have misinformation that guides you to the wrong path. And it's amazing that I always thought when you get older, you're only getting wiser, but I did forget one part. You get set in your ways. So one thing about this thing called knowledge, man, it can bring a lot out of you, but it can bring a lot out of you that was already there, meaning like who you are is who you are. So a lot of these people that are showing their hands, that's who they are, which brings me to this point. You got people like this Tariq Nasheed FBA group. I see a lot of these guys, these YouTubers that all of a sudden, by the way, are subscribing to this doctrine from Tariq. It's taking away from their overall message from YouTube. And the group I'm talking about, at least I'm saying, I'm not talking about all black Americans that came from chattel slavery here in America. I'm talking about a small percentage of so-called black Americans here in America that subscribes to that Tariq Nasheed FBA movement are blinded, yo. I'm hearing the way urban politician is talking, and he says he got to check anybody that talks about black Americans. But the context you refuse to stick to is he's talking about the group FBA. You guys want to keep moving the needle and make it about all black Americans. That's not the truth, brother. Because that's who I grew up. The elders that I respect and revere were black Americans. The people around my communities are black Americans. The people that I'm mostly in business with are black Americans. The youth that I'm proud to say that I can give the knowledge that black Americans gave me and I'm passing down are to mostly black Americans. So in real life, and I just wish a lot of you guys were honest, we're not going through the strifes of certain subgroups of black folks versus subgroups. The way the internet portrays it, right? At a all-time high. That's not true. But I do see that seed that can sprout a hatred that can grow. I do see it. And the way I'm learning to combat that is not going by, having a sparring match of ignorance, back and forth yelling, spreading confusion. Is to really break this down with emotional discipline. Engaging in a proper conversation. Tether, flee. All these terms Tariq gave y'all, I never see a real substantial argument to make your position. A position, by the way, is hollow because it was given to you. Are there truths in a hollow position? Of course. But the foundation is not strong because it's rooted with divisiveness. Divisiveness ain't going to get us nowhere. Bringing an exception and trying to force it into the rule doesn't fit, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to, meaning the instances that any one of us can pick out about any group that you guys choose to hold on to and then try to gaslight it into a bigger issue, it's not working. So yeah, man, there's things about Uncle Luke I don't like personally. His forever Democrat stance, especially for money, I feel like, he's a shill, a Democratic shill. So I don't rock with guys like that. But just because I don't rock with you, I'm not going to take away from the fact that, hey, I don't like Uncle Luke's music now that I'm older because I realize the damage it probably has done to black culture, like a lot of these black artists of all subgroups, whether here in America, from this place, that place. But I can acknowledge, hey, Uncle Luke fought for your freedom of speech. Tariq Nasheed's followers, he fought for that. It's easy to get lost with your emotions where you just kind of like, you just want to erase somebody's body of work, which is why I said I'm giving Lord Jamar grace. He's making a fool out of himself. There's nothing more I could say about him that he's not already doing to himself. I'm only speaking in a sense to combat a seed that I can watch divide us, where our children will hear what the elders are passing down to them, will make us hate each other. I've come from a time in the 90s where I witnessed this. I know a lot of so-called FBA group members make it look like you've been getting attacked from black immigrants. I watch a lot of black Americans attack black immigrants. Then I watch a lot of black immigrants get older, go on to middle school, high school, try to attack black Americans. I watch the level of hate grow. I could easily pick either side, right? What is that going to do when I watch both sides engage in certain actions where it only keeps us divided? I watch when we come together how powerful that is. I watch that. It helped grow my understanding better. I take a seat back and I just listen. I just listen. And I'm only asking a lot of you guys to witness and listen what's going on online. A lot of people are quick to tell you what goes on online doesn't matter, but I'm telling you, a seed can grow. Pay attention to how these back and forths happen. Pay attention to certain notable YouTubers like a urban politician who now all of a sudden is a spokesperson for FBA. Forgetting this started with a group. A group that Tariq Nasheed pushed. This is not the entire body of people that is black American descendants of chattel slavery in America. It's not that, y'all. I promise you. But I could see how that division can spread. I can see that. My final message in conclusion is this. Because I don't want to only make it about FBA. If you are from a subgroup that comes from a black immigrant country, I would tell you to heed to this warning. When you look at the lineage of where your folks come from, pay attention how that same hatred, where, you know what the funny thing is? And I know I'm interjecting on my own message, but I'm making a point. If you go to a Dominican Republic, do you know there are certain blacks from certain areas in Dominican Republics that don't rock with this group of blacks because they come from this type of culture? There are many subcultures in each country. When you say Haitians, you can't assume you're just talking about everybody's the same. When you say Africans, which is very diverse in many different tribes, countries, nations, etc., is not the same. When you say Jamaicans, there's different subgroups of black people in every place on this earth that don't rock with each other. So to pick and choose what you want to fuel whatever it is that you're going through on the inside of yourself, that's not how you're going to help your people, by attacking other blacks. Because what I have been watching with this so-called FBA movement, it went from reparations to now combating other black immigrants. It's not even like you're fighting Hispanic immigrants, European immigrants. You get like a battery on your back when you're going against other black immigrants. And it just reminds me of a time where I saw black immigrants versus black Americans and so on back and forth. And it never ended well. But I always felt like we were at a point where we're growing with one another. I see that. Whether it's with our music, our politics, our businesses, I watch that. I watch the cultures mesh with one another so well. Because what other race on this planet can mesh so perfectly with one another, right? A black person from America can go to Dominican Republic with those blacks, no matter what little self-hatred they got, but we mesh so well together. A black person from Africa can come here and mesh so well. Now we're asking each other, where are you from? I'll tell you this much, where you're not from. You're not from a place of happiness where you got to ask each other that question, man. Where you got to substantiate the hate that's grown in your heart. It's sad, I'm telling you, it's really sad. So I'm telling everybody to heed to this warning, whether you're from a black immigrant lineage, because we're all black immigrants, essentially. But whether you're from a direct black lineage that comes from being an immigrant or a black American right here in America, I'm telling y'all, man, be careful with a lot of narratives on this internet, man. If you're a YouTuber and you was out here allegedly to find a way to make it in these YouTube streets of ours, on this platform to make money, stick to what you know, because a lot of y'all sound very ignorant. And I would like to believe you're more intelligent than to subscribe to a Tariq Nasheed who's very intelligent himself, but clearly is pushing a hustle and a grift. And unfortunately, it hurts my spirit that I watch him pushing something that got black folks going against one another. Whether you're a black immigrant, whether you're a black American, it's sad. A lot of other groups do not do this. That's not black. I'm sorry, it's the truth. When it's all said and done, it's a force united. It's sad, man. It's really sad, because I just had another get-together with my youths. They come from all backgrounds, right? Parents come from Haiti, DR, right here in America. But they mesh together so well. It's beautiful. And I'm afraid you ignorant older fools, whether you're a black immigrant or a black American, I'm afraid you ignorant fools are gonna seep your hatred into their minds and have them forget the beauty in their unison and start quote unquote picking sides. What sides? We're all in fucking hell. We're all in hell. Some of us just choose to make the best of what we have and what we can do. But we're all in hell. Man, if you felt anything I said, man, like, share, comment, subscribe. More importantly, share this shit, man. Share this message. Share this message. Because urban politician, I'm very disappointed in you, bro. You're trying to gaslight people out here to spread hatred. You can keep saying you defend. Certain things ain't got to be defended. Certain ignorance don't have to be put on a pedestal where everybody come and watch and get upset about it, because it speaks for itself. And what you're doing, bro, you're trying to gaslight, bro. You're trying to spread division. I watch that, bro. I'm watching this. Sometimes you deviate from your normal content and you push a rhetoric that's not true. You make it sound like there's a whole bunch of black people in this country disrespecting quote unquote FBAs. That's not true. Do you guys realize there's not even 1% of black immigrant lineage in this country? I'll wait. I'll wait for y'all to tell me what type of threat a black immigrant pose on any substantial black American accomplishment. Because I would be the first one to tell you, why would you even give them 2 cents out here of your energy? And like y'all always tell me, you can go back to their homelands and watch what's going on in their countries. A bunch of turmoil, right? Some of the same shit that's going on here. So it's a lot nobody got to say. It's a lot nobody got to say about each other when we look at our circumstances and conditions. In other words, it speaks for itself. So when I watch a lot of you YouTubers pushing a divisive Tariq Nasheed narrative, it's a damn shame. But I ain't going nowhere. And it's for both sides. If I see somebody being ignorant on the black immigrant side, I'm speaking against that shit. Somebody with the group FBA speaking ignorantly, I'm speaking against that shit. Because I know how that feel being in that middle ground. Own Haitians tell me I ain't Haitian enough. I don't got that accent. And I guess apparently I don't got a stronger enough accent to be a black American either. I've been in the middle of all this my whole life. And all I ever wanted to do was be a real ass nigga, right? Not in that ignorant sense, but I gotta say it in a way where people can comprehend if you subscribe to that, type of talking. But the point is, man, I'm African when it's all said and done. That's where my lineage, all of our lineage comes from, y'all. I know some of us don't want to accept it, but it's the truth. I can give you all the terms these white people gave us, Haitian, Dominican, black American, all this. It's when it's all said and done, that white boy look at me as a black motherfucking nigga. That's it. And I move accordingly. I'm begging for y'all to do the same. I know it's a lot of y'all gonna say I talked a lot, but some shit is not a quick fix, right? 10-minute video, 8-minute video, and my point wasn't made. Maybe I'm talking too much for you, which you could have clicked off and get the hell off my channel. But I know there's somebody that's gonna tap in and tune into this message. It's that important, y'all. Especially if you're doing the work. So to the Tariq Nasheeds, the Lord Jamars, and the Uncle Lukes, stop leaning on these people to be y'all leaders. Worry about disassembling a seed that can spread on all sides, by the way, that can spread into hatred and a division that can be so potent. I fear that we can't stop it, because I remember where it was at once upon a time. I know a lot of you youngsters don't even understand that. So, you're gonna drink the Kool-Aid Tariq is feeding y'all. But there was a time it was hard for black immigrants to be here in this country. Not from other whites, but from other blacks that was giving them a hard time, because I understand now, people just didn't comprehend. They just didn't comprehend. There was also a time where black immigrants, yes, was looking down on black Americans. There's percentages still doing that on both sides. But I saw the bigger picture, and I still see the bigger picture today. For the most part, everybody's just trying to get along and trying to make a way. Let the internet tell it, we're all beefing. We're all at war. Click off YouTube, you're cordial with everybody around you. How you doing, brother? How you doing, sister? Ain't nobody beefing, man. I'll tell y'all and show y'all what beef is one day. Especially when you gotta bury black bodies out here. But I'ma holla at y'all, man. This is Gravitating Away on Reset TV. Yes, this was a long rant. Yes, this was a long message. But I had a point to make. I'ma holla at y'all.